Look how beautiful. But before anyone comes at me, I spent 8 minutes talking about these books and I love romance. The month of July, I have just bought so many books. 21 books in total. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've really been wanting to do like more book content because last year or so I really started to get into like reading and books, and obviously this channel is all about my life, so I wanted to start incorporating it into my content. So for some reason this year in the month of July I have just bought so many books, so I thought I would do a haul of every book I bought in July. I've bought so many books. 1 second. 21 books in total, 22 if you count Daydream by Hannah Grace. I have pre-ordered the sprayed edges version, but obviously that book is not even published yet, so but I'm so excited to read. But yeah, so I thought I'd just show you, because I've read 4 of the, how many did I say I have? I've read 4 of the 21 books. My Goodreads is Lola Ashman, but it will also be down below. Obviously, I tried to record this video yesterday. Did not go as planned, did not end up doing it. I was having a really bad day yesterday. I turned it into a positive though. But yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start in order. So I actually ordered these, I wanna say before Christmas. It was before Christmas, but they came in July. So if you follow my TikTok, that will also be down below, you would have already seen that I was able to get my hands on the special edition Twisted series. Look at these sprayed edges. Like, I'm sorry, look how beautiful. Anna Huang, you really outdid yourself. And obviously whoever painted them, you outdid yourself as well. I go through them one by one. This is still gorgeous. Look at them. I can't, you picture the characters in your head, so finally seeing the characters is gorgeous. And then you've got the sprayed edges, then you've got Twisted Games, and this just gives Beauty and the Beast vibes. I love tulips, they're my favourite flower, I literally love them so much, and it just gives me like Belle vibes. Again, I just love seeing what the characters actually look like. Here we have Twisted H and Jules, here we are. I just think that is so beautiful. And then this is honestly the cherry on top. Now I am biased because this kind of like maroony kind of pink is my favorite color. Look how beautiful, and I just love how dark. I just love the contrast. My allergies, I see coming through. The contrast of the dark pink on the light pink. Don't even know if contrast is the right word, but so here we've got Twisted Lies, my favorite book. It's honestly, it is my favorite book in the series. Honestly, if you guys want me to do a review of the Twisted series, tell me and I'll do it, because honestly I could do a whole video on rating the books, the characters, my opinions, what I think could be changed, what I love. Like honestly, I could do a whole series about the Twisted series because it's very twisted and complicated, the series. But and then I just love this because my favorite Disney princess is Rapunzel, and that's basically the tangled flower. And then also, as you can see here, the dark green, these are my prized possessions. These are my first ever special ed. That's actually a big lie. That is actually a big lie. I spent 8 minutes talking about these books and I could carry on for the rest of my life, so I'm just gonna put these down. We're meant to be getting a delivery coming and I'm really scared the delivery man is gonna see me filming. So this is where my book buying in July started. So basically for my birthday I got Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher for my birthday, and obviously I heard that there was a second book. First mistake was me saying let's just pop to the works, thinking in mind I'm only going to get 1 book. Now if you've never been to the works, book galore, cheap book galore, is that the right word? I was like, let's just go, let's see if they have the second book, and they did. So I got Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher, which is the second book. This is an interconnected standalone, so you can read it by itself. To get a better understanding of these characters, you should probably read Love Redesigned first. You could argue it's like a boss romance because Ellie works for Raphael. Raphael is Julian's adoptive brother. Ellie works for Raphael. She babysits and piano tutors his son. So I love this book. It's so cutesy and girly and I love it. There you are. That is the blurb. And then this is Ellie's. Basically, I'm doing it out of order and it's really annoying me. I'm going to show you what I got from the works first. What books did I get? Okay, anyway, the second one is King of Sloth by Anna Hong. This is part of the King of Sin series and I'm so excited to read this book. And one thing I love about this book, it gives us what the main characters look like. It tells us what the main characters look like. I honestly love when I know what the characters look like. Again, interconnected, standalone. You can read this one first if you want to, but again, to get a better understanding of the characters, it's best to read King of Wrath, King of Pride, King of Greed, then King of Sloth. This is the blurb. So yeah, it's about Sloane and Xavier. Sloane is like a workaholic, very prompt. Xavier is very chill. He's a chill billionaire, basically. I think he's like a musician or something. Have I just made that up? Okay, so he's rich because of his family's empire, but then I don't know what he does. I feel like I've made up the fact he's a musician. She's a publicist, by the way. So yeah, so just a little background of the King of Sin series. It follows a group of friends, Vivian, Isabella, Sloane. So King of Greed is about Alexandra. She's not friends with them yet. She does become friends with the girls in her book, but she's not a part of the friend group, but she becomes part of the friend group. The name of the titles applies to the men. So Raft, Dante is very angry. He has a bit of a temper. Pride, Kai has a lot of pride. Greed, Dominic is very greedy. And obviously Sloth, Xavier is very lazy. Anyway, on to the next. So on to the next book, we have Binding 13. So I just want to clarify, I am a BookTok reader. I do read books off of BookTok, but before anyone comes at me and is like, you only read smut, I actually don't read the books for the smut. Personally, if someone wants to read it for smut, that is completely fine. I really don't care whether the book has it or not. I just read for fun, and I prefer cutesy little romance, found family trope. Because as you're going to be able to tell, I'm a romance reader, and I love romance. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Saw like a TikTok of it, like a prompt from the book, and I favorited it. And then I started hearing loads about Binding 13, and I was like, I swear I saved a prompt from this book. And I was like, oh my god, I did. So I just added it to my list. It was there at the works, so I bought it and I read it in 2 days. It was an easy read. Don't get me wrong, the reason, because I always look at 1-star reviews, I'm like, why does this book have 1-star reviews? So I do look at them, and honestly, some of the points people were making in 1-star reviews, I was agreeing with. Most of the 1-star reviews were the fact that Shannon is insufferable. And I will agree, there were some points where I was like, Shannon babe, please stop. Like, stop. Like, the amount of times Johnny told this girl that he loves her, he wants her, but then Claire and Lizzie would be like, so he doesn't like you, and she'd be like, yeah, he doesn't want me. I had to hold my tongue. I had to take so many breathers with this book. I was like, and I do understand Shannon not being able to believe someone wants her due to her trauma and stuff like that. I can understand, but I was a bit like, breathe. And with these books, I did have to tell myself, I was like, the author wouldn't do this if it wasn't right. The author wouldn't do this if it wasn't right, because I was a bit like, I'm not reading it. I can't carry on, and I carried on. And I did obviously think there was stuff that could be changed. I didn't like the author kept talking about how small the main character was. She kept painting her out like a child, and yes, she is only 15, turning 16 in the book, but she was painting her out to be like a 12, 13-year-old. One thing I do like about this book, it was the fact that she was 16. I'm 16. Also, there is quite a few trigger warnings in this book. Johnny Caravan, loved him. It was really refreshing because obviously most of the books I read / all the books I read are set in like America or something like that, and it was really refreshing having some lingo that I knew. like the glossary, it really did make me giggle. The fact that in the glossary Rolos had to be in the glossary makes me laugh. I'm not saying that England is like Ireland. I don't want the Irish to get mad at me. And it was just really funny because I just kept picturing, like, an American wouldn't know what that means. Here is the blurb. There you are. I spoke 9 minutes talking about one book. Anyway, on to the last book from the works, My Dark Romeo. I know this is a marriage of convenience. Again, I saw a prompt from this on TikTok. It was the one where she was hanging up a wedding portrait in his office, and he was like, that's literally only got you in it. And she's like, I know, isn't it perfect? So yeah, that was the prompt that sold me. The blurb really doesn't give anything away. I don't have much to say about this book because I really don't know anything about it. Anyway, I saw a Instagram reel that said Flawless was at Tesco's, and I was like, is this a sign? So I dashed over to my local Tesco's, and lo and behold, it had it. So yeah, so I really want to read this series. Again, I can't say much about it because I don't know a lot about it. I know he is a bull rider. Don't really know much about her. Here is the blurb. Also have been seeing this book around and about. I was a bit unsure whether or not to get it, just because I had heard not so great reviews about it. And I'm gonna give you a little clue, a little hint. Icebreaker 2.0. I'm gonna let you, can you guess? Any guesses? So if you guess Collide, you are correct. I've already read it, I've read it, and the rumours are true. The rumours are true. This is Icebreaker 2.0. Now, I'm not saying it was a terrible book. Also, if you want to know what I've rated the books, you can go onto my Goodreads. I will be buying her next book, by the way, Spiral. Go check it out. Now, I have this thing about books, and it's kind of like, of course books. Now, if you don't know what I mean by of course books, is that sometimes stuff happens in books and it's just so set up, and it's like, of course that happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, of course that person had to do that. Do you know what I mean? So in this book, of course, the only program Summer could do was a hockey program, and of course she hates hockey. The bad relationship she had with her dad, I really don't think it needed to be there. I could see what she was doing, and that's what I mean by of course books. I used to be really like naive about it. I used to not see it, but then someone made me aware on Book Talk, so now I'm really aware of it, and I'm so sorry if I've made you aware of it. I sincerely apologise. And I'm going to be honest, this is where I went a little bit crazy, just a little bit. I obviously finished binding 13, and if you don't know, Chloe Walsh does this amazing thing where she likes to leave her books on cliffhangers. I finished binding 13 late at night on a cliffhanger, and I was like, oh my god, I need the second book. So I went into the works. The second book may have been there, but also the fourth book may have been there, and then I was like, I can't get the second and fourth book. So I went to Waterstone, and then, you know, the third book was there, and then the last book of the series was there. So I was just like, you know, I kind of ended up leaving my shopping centre with the whole series. So yeah, I've already read Keeping 13. Keeping 13 is so much better than Binding 13. 100%. The characters were better. There was a storyline in this, but well, there was more storyline, more plot. And like I said, I can read a book that is just about like the romance and the love story, but it does make the book more entertaining when there is a plot storyline. So yeah, it made me cry, it made me laugh, and it made me feel. Anyway, these books are really fucking heavy. I'm sorry. The next book in the series is Saving 6, which is Joey and Aoife's book. Also, I love the name Aoife. I love how it's spelled. I love it. This is the third book in the series. Technically second book, because Binding 13 and Keeping 13 are about the same couple. So it's basically just like one big book split into two, because it leaves on a cliffhanger. And Joey is Shannon's older brother. I would say their love story is more like they've always loved each other as soon as they met. they didn't really have to figure out their feelings for one another. They kind of already knew their feelings for each other, so it wasn't like this crazy confession. And then obviously next we've got redeeming 6. So I do know how the cliffhanger of saving 6, what the cliffhanger of saving 6 is. And we've got taming 7, which is about Jared, also known as Gibbsy, and Claire Biggs. Okay, so when I actually went to my shopping centre and ended up getting the whole series, the Boys of Tommen series, I also somehow ended up getting another series. So I ended up getting the Never After series. So excited to read this series, I can't wait. So I'm gonna go through them all. I haven't read them, obviously. If you don't know, they're kind of like spin-offs, dark romances of villains. So first we have Hooked, which is about Captain Hook and Wendy, I'm pretty sure. Then we have Scarred, which I'm pretty sure is a Lion King spin-off. So I'm pretty sure it's about like 2 brothers, I think. Then I'm most excited for this one. We have Wretched, which is, I've been going around saying it's about Wicked, but I'm pretty sure it's the Wizard of Oz. Either way, it's about the Wicked Witch of the West. Alexa, what's the evil witch in Wizard of Oz?
Sorry, I'm not sure about
Alexa, I guess I'm gonna have to search up. I'm pretty sure it is the Wicked Witch of the West.
Alarm for what time?
No, Alexa. Yeah.
Alarm for what time?
No alarm. The Wicked Witch of the West. And then is Glinda the East. She's the Good Witch of the South. I can't wait to watch Wicked in cinemas. Anyway, also really excited for this book. We have Twisted, which I'm pretty sure is an Aladdin story. Now, I don't think it, when I say Aladdin, I mean like not Aladdin the fictional character, Aladdin the movie. So maybe, what's his name? Jafar. Alexa, what's the villain in Aladdin?
Good afternoon, Lola. The name of the villain from Disney's Aladdin is Jafar. Jafar.
So I think it's actually Jasmine and Jafar. Sorry, Yasmin and Jafar. That's not even his name. Julian Farasi. I've got to hurry up. My camera's about to die. Whatever. And then we have Crossed, which is about the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I have not watched. So Father Cade Friedrich and Esmeralda, but I don't know much about that Disney film, so I don't even know if you could class these as dark romances, but I want to broaden my circle from romances, so I feel like dark romance is a good way to go. So people suggest me books down below, whether it's a horror, thriller, dark romance. Not Haunting Adeline, I will not be reading that book. What are other genres of books? Fantasies, stuff like that. Anyway, on to the next 2 books. On to the last 2 books. So basically, when I was ordering from, and we're back, my camera did die, but also it was getting really overheated, so it needed to cool down anyway because I didn't want my camera to blow up. So on to the last 2 books, were Part of Your World and You with a View. I feel like these 2 are kind of like cutesy little books, not books that I usually read, but again, I really want to start getting into more sort of these types of like cutesy little books. So this is High School Enemies. Here's the blurb. Guys, TikTok is mentioned in this book. She creates a TikTok video appealing for information and it goes viral. Oh, okay, maybe I should have probably been able. To be fair, this cover is super cute. Like, next is Part of Your World. And again, I just think it's so cute. I know this is a small town romance. One trope I'll never understand is small town romances. Now, I understand living in a small town is cute and it's like community, like Gilmore Girls, do you know what I mean? Why is it a trope? Do you know what I mean? Because what's the difference between a love story in a small town versus a big city? Do you get what I mean? But anyway, I'm so excited to read this book. Again, it's like a cute blurb. Is it a small town? Have I just made up the fact that it's a small town romance? Maybe this is... it is. Okay, so she's from the city, he's from the small town. Duh. obviously, Lola, it just takes you 1 second to look at the cover of the book. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this book related kind of video, because I definitely want to make more book content. So yeah, and if you have any book suggestions that aren't romance, they can have like a side of romance. I put down some book suggestions either on my YouTube or over on my TikTok. So yeah, so also though, next week Thursday I will be going to Boardmasters, which I will be vlogging. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for 200 plus subscribers. Also thank you guys so much for all your support on my latest video, my 4 girls take on Spain. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and make sure to take care of yourselves, and bye. Well, that was a lot.